Imagine living in a world with no money, no shops, no paychecks. A world where your tax is not coins, but your time, your hands, your back. Now imagine something even stranger. In that world, you almost never starve because the state counts your life in knots on string, stores food in stone warehouses, and moves resources across mountains on roads that feel too ambitious to be real. Tonight, we are not going to follow an emperor. We are going to follow someone history rarely names. You. You are born above the clouds where the air is thin and the sun burns your skin even in cold. Your home is small, made of stone, mud and thatch, built for survival, not comfort. You do not grow up as an individual. You grow up inside an elu, a community bound by kinship, obligation, shared labor, and shared risk. In your world, no one asks what you want to be. The real question is simpler. What does the community need you to do? Because life here is not a story of personal ambition. It is a story of staying alive on a mountain that does not care. Childhood is short. You learn to walk. And almost immediately, you learn to carry. Water, firewood, baskets of potatoes, bundles of grass for animals. You watch adults work, as if they are fighting the landscape itself, carving fields into steep slopes, building terraces that hold soil in place, pulling harvest from high altitude, where a single bad season can mean disaster. So your people prepare for disaster in advance. Potatoes become chuño, freeze-dried in the cold, stored for the future. Food becomes time, saved against the next winter, the next drought, the next war. You do not understand empire yet, but you understand a rule that will shape your entire life. The community comes first. One year, officials arrive, not with weapons, but with authority. A local leader speaks. Names are checked. People are counted, not just as bodies, but as labor. Because the power of the Inca state is not built on money. It is built on organization, on the ability to mobilize human time at scale. And that obligation has a name, the mita, a labor tax. For part of the year, you do not work only for your household or your village. You work for the state, building roads, carrying supplies, farming state lands, maintaining infrastructure, serving imperial projects. You do not apply. You are assigned. And somewhere far from your village, a specialist records it, not on paper, but in cords and knots. Kipu. Your mornings begin before the sun. You step outside into a cold so sharp it feels clean. Smoke rises from roofs. The village exhales. Work is collective. Fields are tended with neighbors, not hired hands. The rhythm is social. One family helps another, because soon the roles will reverse, and what you wear tells the world who you are. In the Inca world, cloth is status, a visible language of identity and hierarchy. Fine textiles are power, controlled production, political gifts, state resources. Commoners wear simpler cloth, practical, durable, and made for labor. The elite wear textiles that speak in a different register, finer, more symbolic, more controlled. You may not read books, but you read clothing instantly. You reach adulthood. Marriage is not always a love story. It is structure, an alliance between households, a stable unit in an economy built on labor and reciprocity. And then comes the moment every parent fears and prays for at the same time. Selection. Some girls are taken, chosen. They are trained inside Akalawasi, the houses of the chosen women. There they learn skills that feed the empire's rituals and politics, weaving fine cloth, preparing ritual foods, brewing chicha for festivals, and sometimes they are married into alliances that bind provinces to Cusco. To the state, it is governance. To a family, it can be honor and loss. A system this organized does not only take your labor, sometimes it takes your children. In your world, religion is not separate from life. It is life. Mountains watch. The earth remembers. The sun must be honored. Ritual calendars shape labor calendars. Festivals reinforce unity. Offerings reinforce duty. The empire does not rule only by force. It rules by meaning. Because if people believe the world depends on balance, then obedience becomes something deeper than fear. Then your name is called. It is your turn for meta service. You leave your village for months. You leave your fields, your family, your routine. You join a column of workers moving through mountain passes, across valleys, along stone paths that seem to ignore gravity. This is the Kapaknyan, the Andean road system, an imperial network linking towns, production centers, and sacred sites across extreme terrain. On the road, you see the empire's true genius. Not gold, not palaces, logistics. You pass way stations, checkpoints, and then you see them, lined along hillsides where the wind is dry, kolkas, state storehouses, stone-built, engineered for airflow, designed for preservation, holding dried potatoes and other staples, redistributed to armies, officials, laborers, communities in need. This is how an empire feeds people without markets, not by freedom, but by design. One day you notice a runner, light, fast, trained. He arrives, delivers something, and disappears, replaced by another, like a heartbeat. These are chasqui, messengers who carry information across the empire. The roads move bodies, but they also move knowledge. Behind that knowledge are records, quipus, kept and interpreted by specialists who help administer the state. You may never touch a quipu, but you live inside its consequences. The state knows what you can produce, it knows what you owe, and it knows when to take you away again. Eventually you return home, and for a while it works. Food flows, labor rotates, roads connect distant worlds. The empire feels like weather, always there, shaping everything. This is the seductive promise of a system that functions. Stability. And stability can look like immortality. You begin to believe the empire is not a government. It is reality itself. Then the rumors begin. Something is wrong. Somewhere beyond the ridges you have never crossed. You hear about conflict, uncertainty, shifts in power, then stories of sickness moving faster than people. You do not understand geopolitics. You understand missing supplies. You understand fear. And here is the hidden weakness of a system built on central organization. When the center falters, everything dependent on it becomes vulnerable. The same machine that fed millions can fail in a way that leaves ordinary people exposed. The fall does not arrive as a dramatic scene in a palace. It arrives as disruption. Routes no longer feel safe. Officials stop coming. Orders contradict each other. The old guarantees begin to vanish. Stored food, predictable labor cycles, the sense that someone is counting. And for an ordinary citizen, that is the true terror. Not losing a king, but losing the system that made life survivable. The empire does not only collapse politically, it collapses logistically. And when logistics collapse, the mountain becomes what it always was, unforgiving. So what was life like for a common Inca citizen? Not free, but not invisible. You lived under obligation, inside a world managed by record keeping, redistribution, infrastructure. Your life was controlled, but in many places, it was also buffered against hunger, by design. And that leaves us with one uncomfortable question. If you had to choose, would you choose freedom or a system so efficient it could feed an empire without money, as long as it could claim your life in labor? Because that was the Inca bargain, and for millions it was real. Most people remember empires by their rulers, but history was lived by ordinary people like this. If this story changed the way you see the Inca Empire, Tell me in the comments what surprised you most.